You look out the window, and the street isn't a street anymore. It's a river. The water is brown, and it's moving, and it's higher than it was 10 minutes ago. Your heart starts to pound. And the truth is, what you do in the next 10 minutes matters more than anything you'll do for the rest of the day, because that's the real problem with a flood. It doesn't feel like an emergency at first. It feels slow. The water creeps in. It looks shallow. It looks like something you can walk through, or drive through, or wait out. And that feeling, that calm, harmless feeling, is exactly what gets people killed. There's one mistake almost everyone makes in a flood, and it happens fast, and it happens to careful people. We'll get to it. But first, the clock is already running, so let's start. Here's the first thing to understand. In a flood, your enemy is not the water you can see. It's the water that's coming. Floods rise, sometimes slowly, over hours, sometimes in minutes, in what's called a flash flood, a sudden wall of water with almost no warning. The National Weather Service calls flooding one of the deadliest weather hazards in the country, year after year. And most of those deaths are not dramatic. They're quiet. They're someone who waited a little too long or stepped into water that was deeper than it looked. So step 1. Get up, not out. In the first minute, your instinct will tell you to run, to get in the car, to get away, hold on. Before you go anywhere, get to higher ground inside wherever you are. Move to a higher floor. If the water is rising into your home, go up. The goal in those first moments is simple. Put height between you and the water. Grab your phone, grab your shoes, and move up. Why shoes? Because floodwater is not just water. It hides everything. Broken glass, sharp metal, sewage, chemicals, downed power lines. You can't see your own feet in it. So if you have 10 seconds, put on closed shoes. Future, you will be grateful. Now, while you're moving, your brain needs to answer one question, and this is step 2. Do you stay high, or do you get out? This is the decision the whole situation turns on. And here's the rule. If the water is rising and you've been told to evacuate, or you can still leave safely on roads that are clear and dry, go now. Early, not in an hour. The single worst time to evacuate is late, when the roads are already flooding and everyone is panicking at once. But if the water is already across your roads, if it's already moving and deep, then leaving can be far more dangerous than staying. In that case, you go up and you stay put, and you wait for help where rescuers can find you. Read that again, because it's the part people get wrong. Sometimes the bravest, smartest thing you can do is not move. Staying high and dry on an upper floor and calling for help beats wading into a current you can't read. So how do you read it? Let me give you the numbers that actually matter, because this is the mistake I promised you. The one that gets careful people killed. It's water. Specifically, it's underestimating moving water. The National Weather Service runs a campaign called Turn Around, Don't Drown, and the reason it exists is staggering. Just 6 inches of fast-moving water, that's ankle to mid-shin height, can knock a grown adult off their feet. 12 inches, 1 foot of rushing water, can float and carry away most cars. 2 feet can sweep away almost any vehicle, including big SUVs and pickup trucks. 2 feet, that's it. Think about how little that is. You look at a flooded road and your brain says, that's nothing, I'll just drive through it quickly. But you can't see the road underneath. You don't know if it's still there. Floodwater hides washed-out pavement, open drains, holes that drop away into nothing. More than half of all flood deaths happen in vehicles, people who drove into water that looked shallow. So here is step 3, and it might be the most important sentence in this entire video. Never walk or drive into floodwater. Ever. If you come to a flooded road, you turn around. You find another way. A 6-second decision to go around is worth more than any shortcut. Water you cannot see the bottom of is water you do not enter. That's the rule. That's the whole rule. Quick question for you, and I genuinely want to know. Has water ever risen near your home or your road? Tell me in the comments where you are and what happened. It helps more people than you'd think to hear real stories. Okay? Let's keep moving. Because there's a danger in your home you haven't dealt with yet. And it's invisible. Step 4. Deal with electricity and gas, but only if it's safe. Water and electricity are a deadly combination. As floodwater rises toward outlets and appliances, your home can become electrified in ways you can't see. If your electrical panel is somewhere safe and dry that you can reach without standing in water, the Red Cross advice is to shut off the power. But, and this matters, never, ever touch electrical equipment if you are wet or standing in water. If reaching the panel means wading through floodwater, don't. Your life is worth more than a circuit breaker. Leave it, get to high ground, and tell rescuers when they arrive. The same goes for gas. If you smell gas, or if you've been told there's a leak, don't flip switches, don't light anything, get to fresh air. When in doubt, the rule is always the same. Choose the action that keeps your body out of the water and away from anything that could hurt you. Higher, drier, safer. By now, a few minutes have passed. You're up high. You've made your stay or go decision. You haven't touched the water. Now comes the step people forget in the panic, and it's the one that gets you rescued. Step 5. Make yourself findable. In an emergency, the people who get help fastest are the ones rescuers can locate. So tell someone where you are. Call, or even better, text your emergency contact and tell them your exact location and that you're sheltering on a high floor. Texts often get through when calls won't, because they use less of an overloaded network. Keep your phone charged and turn down the brightness to make the battery last. If you have a power bank, now is when it earns its place. And if the water is still rising toward you, signal. A bright cloth in a window. A flashlight at night. Noise. You are not being dramatic. You are being smart. Help can't save someone it can't find. There's one more thing. And it's less about the next 10 minutes and more about the next 10 days. Once the immediate danger passes, the flood isn't over. The water that comes into a home is contaminated, often with sewage and chemicals. Don't drink tap water until officials say it's safe. Don't eat food that touched floodwater. And don't walk back into a flooded building to grab your things while the water's still there. Stuff can be replaced. You can't. So let's bring this back together. Because I want you to actually remember it. In the first 10 minutes of a flood, you do 5 things. You get up, not out. You decide early whether to evacuate or stay high. You never ever enter moving water, on foot or in a car. You deal with power and gas only if you can do it dry and safe. And you make yourself findable. Now here's the part nobody tells you, the counterintuitive truth underneath all of this. A flood doesn't usually kill people by being powerful. It kills by being underestimated, by looking calm, by looking shallow, by looking like something you can handle. The water that takes a life is almost never a roaring wall. It's a quiet brown street that someone decided to step into. The danger isn't the flood's strength. It's our confidence. Which means the skill that saves you isn't strength or speed. It's the discipline to respect water you can't see the bottom of, to turn around, to go up and wait instead of pushing through, to choose patience when every instinct is screaming, go. You looked out the window, and the street had become a river. And now, instead of guessing, instead of freezing, you know exactly what to do with the 10 minutes that matter most. That's not fear. That's readiness. And readiness is something you can build long before the water ever rises. If this helped, subscribe to Linklings. Every week we break down one survival situation into a simple plan you can actually remember. And watch this one next. What to do if you get lost in the woods. Because the same calm that saves you in a flood is the thing that saves you out there too. Take care of each other. Quick note before we go any further. This is general preparedness information. not official emergency advice. Always follow your local warnings and your local authorities first. They know your area. This video is here to help you think clearly when it counts.